Caroline Crawford Patterson.
Honey, we're home.
Hi guys, and welcome back to Honey, We're Home. I'm Caroline Crawford Patterson, and it's a solo episode for us today, which means you get some of your time back at the end. It is officially summer. I'm recording this. I believe it's officially the first day of summer, and it's no joke. It's so hot here, and it's going to be like up over 100 next week. So we're just braving the heat and the hailstorms and the rain and whatever else God has up his sleeve for that. I wanted to get into kind of game segments today because I've missed the game segments, and I feel like it's fun and it's lighthearted and it's just interesting. And sometimes our lives are so chaotic that all you want is to talk about other people's drama, OPD. My mom always says like other people's money, which is OPM, but I like other people's drama, which is OPD. So we're going to play Dirty Laundry, and we're going to also play this new game, basically like Ask Chat. And this came about because I have had so many instances in the past few weeks where not only am like I by myself somewhere in a corner having a conversation with chat, but everyone else that I'm with is like also doing the same thing. Like there was actually a scenario where we were all, my whole family was together, and we were talking about something with my mom, and we sort of started to like brainstorm solutions or, you know, a new diagnoses, and like, you know, everyone sort of starts to like Google, and you're like trying to figure out what's going on, because we were talking about how her hand is getting really, really swollen, and she has this like torn rotator cuff, but is it ALS? Is it whatever? Everyone just goes silent at some point, and like I knew why I went silent because I like took the conversation to chat, and I like me and chat are just having a whole conversation because I need to know what chat knows so that I can bring it back to the group. So I get my information from chat, and I go over to Sarah, and I'm like, okay, so I have some information, and she goes, if you could just give me a second, I'm talking to chat. And I'm like, no, I'm talking to chat. She's like, well, I'm talking to chat, so I'm going to need a moment. And then John turns around and he's like, well, I'm talking to chat too. And everyone, I just realized, like, you know what? Chat has so much good information for us. And it made me wonder what they would say to some of the scenarios that we like put out on the show. And like, I also am very curious to know the lover war scenarios that chat could come up with. I kind of want to do a little bit of a pop culture rundown before. It's not even pop culture. I don't even know. I don't know what to call this before we get into it. But I recently got into the Karen Reed trial, and way too late for the game. And this week, her verdict came back, and she was not guilty, which is like so great. And all I have to say about this is I'm like really happy that as a society, we're just leaning more into the conspiracy theories these days. Like I was thinking about the fact that like if jurors didn't exist, like if we didn't rule by jury, like she clearly would have been found guilty, because everything, this whole trial, if you don't know, like Karen Reed, it is this woman, and her boyfriend was a police officer in Boston, outside of Boston. It's like the Clinton something. Okay. That's like the Canton is the county. And her boyfriend passed away. And it was after a night out drinking over the winter in 2022. She got in a fight with him. She dropped him off at some friends' houses who were also officers. Everyone there, it was anyone that worked like as a trooper or an officer and their wives, and they were all off duty. She drops him off. She goes home. She wakes up the next morning. She cannot find him. She finds him dead in the snow. And immediately, you know, she's going into a panic. And I guess she like asked, everyone was drunk the night before. So I guess she like asked the officer, like, did I hit him? Like, did I hit him with my car? Like what happened? And there's more and you have to go listen to it. But essentially like from the get-go, they pinned this on her when it was definitely, in fact, like the off-duty officers just like trying to cover up something shady and snaky that was going on. And it was so crazy that when she went to trial, there was a hung jury. And they were not able to make a ruling on her case. And so the judge had to rule a mistrial. And now a year later, she's having a retrial. And they put a lot of effort into like getting these charges dropped altogether so that they wouldn't have to do the retrial. And they still had to go through with it. And the verdict came back on this one as not guilty. And between the first trial and this trial, it just really made it way, 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 way worse for the prosecution because nothing was aligned. The stories weren't aligned. It was so clearly a cover up. But I had so much faith in social media for this experience because I've not seen so many people in the same page about like a conspiracy theory. Like this was like the first real mainstream conspiracy theory. And then like also the jury bought into it and then ruled her not guilty. So that's a win for this week, is that those like turds and little assholes like didn't win. The whole thing is actually fascinating, and I really encourage you to look into it because it, in this case, has, you know, the ending that you would want. The other thing is that The Materialist came out, the movie, and I haven't seen it, but I'd love to. And I want to know if you guys have seen it and if you like it. Did you like it? Because I'm seeing mixed reviews, and I don't want anyone to spoil it for me, so I'm trying not to get into like too much of the dialogue. Like I don't want to go look at someone's like recap video to tell me why they liked or didn't like it. I just want to know, like, is it good? Do I see it? I want to do a rom-com. I'm in the mood for a rom-com. And that would be a good one if it's good. And then the other thing is like, should I be watching the season of Love Island? Because that's the other thing that I feel like I'm living under a rock a little bit on. There's like all of this discourse of like Jeremiah and Huda, and it's like kind of serious. And I liked last season of Love Island, but I really had to be provoked to go watch it. Like I wasn't like going in excited, ready to watch it. Like I had to get people to convince me. And I need like an honest answer about if I should be watching this or if it's actually just going to stress me out. I've seen some comments that are kind of funny that are like, Huda's crash outs are like actually nothing compared to like what some of us do, which I found entertaining. But then 5 seconds later, you see a video that's basically saying like, hey, production needs to pull her and this is like very serious and we really shouldn't be laughing about it. And then I feel terrible. So whatever. And then the third thing is that the new season of And Just Like That is rolling out, and that's like good for our age group. I want to say that this third season is way, way, way better than the first and the second seasons. And I actually, you know, at the end of each episode, you can see who directed it. And with a lot of shows, not every episode has the same director. So throughout the second season, there were some episodes that Cynthia Nixon directed, and those were the fan favorite episodes, including myself. I loved them. And I sort of thought, I really feel like they should be bringing her back on as a more full-time director because she knows the direction they want to go with the show, and she knows how to go there without veering away from the fact that it is television and it is entertainment and it is supposed to be like an escape into, you know, a parallel type of world. So that being said, if you're debating watching the third season of it And Just Like That, I think it's a go. It's a go for me. I'm having a nice time with it. Like I am watching the episodes the date that they release, and I love it. Like I just like whatever. And Aiden's great in this, and I was always a big guy, but I love the whole thing. And then we're also watching Ginny and Georgia, and I love Ginny and Georgia. And they're handling some topics on this season that are hard to handle without feeling like there's an agenda or like getting in your face about some stuff. And I actually really like the way that they're handling the way that they're addressing the topics, and I feel like it's really hands-on and good. And anyways, I just love that show so freaking much. So we're not done yet, but we're gonna finish this weekend. Okay, so we did dirty laundry submissions today, and we have a good one. And this dirty laundry also made me want to ask chat, which is fun, but you know, we'll see how we think. My crazy aunt and uncle never told their kids that they'd been married to other people and that they cheated on their previous spouses, and that's how they actually got together. The whole family knows except for their kids, who are now in their 30s. I immediately, when I thought about this, I was like, no one has ever told them drunk. No one? Like, you know when you know something about your aunts or your uncles or your cousins or your grandparents? I'm a blab. Like, I don't ever assume, like, that person doesn't know. I'm like, if I know, I'm probably the last to know. I just assume everybody knows. And it should be open conversation. And then to keep, like, do you know how many jokes are made inside families? Like the self-deprecating kind of joke. Like, to have so many jokes be off the table. And because if you say the wrong thing or you reference the wrong thing that's common knowledge to everybody else, you're outing like this huge secret. I actually feel like the kids are not going to care that their parents had an affair, because obviously at this point, like, that's the only reason these children exist, because they're their parents and like that's all that they know. But they're going to be pissed that their parents had like lives they didn't know about. That's like so fascinating to me. Like, to hide a marriage is just wild. And then part of me doesn't even believe that they don't know. Would you not tell your kids? Like, is there a world in which like something could happen where like down the line you were like had this whole marriage that you wouldn't tell them about? And like, why? What would be the reasoning? You know what I mean? Like, was it high profile? Was it dangerous? Like, they're gonna find out. I mean, I just thought, okay, so we were doing some research on my family a few years ago, not even like last year. And I love digging around. Like, digging around is a hobby I'll never give up. When I was in high school, I used to go to my grandmother's house and like pretend I was doing something and go through all of her files. And I found out so much dirt. Like, and then I love when they try to lie to you about it. And you're like, Elaine, receipts. I have receipts. And you just bring it up. So anyways, I love dirt. I love dirt on my family. I love dirt on John's family, because it's just like, I don't like secrets. Like, that's the vibe. Just like if the secrets are no fun unless they're shared with everyone. Because what fun is it for, like, it's not a harmful thing. Most of the time for older generations, the stuff that they're not telling us isn't harmful. Maybe it was like taboo to share it with people or like whatever. Like, but it's never harmful stuff. And even so, like, which in my case it hasn't been, but even if it was, like, you're talking like generations and generations and generations later. Like, at this point, it's just information. Like, it's not like incriminating. Okay, so to dig through information, I just don't believe that there are no kids that like haven't dug through the information. We were looking for information in my family, and we saw some obituary, and like the wife had written something in the obituary, and it was like very clear that like what we found out, like, she didn't know about. And then we were starting to like piece together the fact that like, what if something happened and your like ex-spouse just like showed up to the funeral, and that's how you found out that your parents were married before? Like, I just don't think that some people just like don't have OCD or anxiety like the way that we do, because I've just gone through every single scenario of how poorly this could end, and it would be my fault because I was the one that lied and kept the secret. And then that just like scares me out of ever keeping the secret, because I'm like, nope, I knew that could happen. Okay, next dirty laundry. My boyfriend of 5 years was texting his female boss about how I'm an unhealthy swine and a heifer. I only saw it because he handed me his phone drunk to call us an Uber, and the convo was right there on his phone. When he was confronted, he said he needed to vent. Like, not even quotes in the submission, just she's needed to vent. This is, I want to put this in chat. Hey, chat. We have a list. Oh my God.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh no. I have a listener whose boyfriend was texting his female boss about how she's an unhealthy swine and a heifer. And when the girlfriend found the text messages on the boyfriend's phone, the boyfriend said that he just needed to vent and basically to leave him alone about it. What should she do?
It's important for her to have an open and honest conversation with her boyfriend about how all those comments made her feel. Trust and respect are essential in a relationship. She should express her feelings and listen to his perspective as well. It might also be helpful to consider couples counseling if they're both willing to work through this together.
I don't like... Are you listening to me still? I'm hanging up. No. Listen, I don't like the chat is a boy. I thought chat was a woman. I'm going to have to give that a thumbs down. Because that was a man response. It sounds like a tough situation. Trust and respect are essential. She should listen to his perspective. Like, huh? I don't think so. I think she read his perspective. Wow, chat needs... I should have told chat to get more emotionally intelligent. Maybe next time. Okay, that is some dirty laundry. And the thing is I'm glad you said it here because it's one of those things that it's hard to say to your friends. When you... And this is the other thing too. It's like, do you guys say this to yourself as well? That like a barometer for me of a healthy relationship... At this point in life, I would apply it to like friends too, but a barometer for me for a healthy relationship is like if I wouldn't feel comfortable being honest or this coming out to my family and friends, then I have no business like engaging in this relationship. It should, if you feel like you would be embarrassed for your friends and family to know about something, and you already know what they would say, yeah, it's already done because at this point you're filtering the information that they get about your relationship based on how it's not based on how you think they're going to react. It really goes a little bit deeper and it's based on how you feel about it deep down. Because, you know, there are some people in very, very toxic relationships that will still be very honest with you about what goes down in their relationship. And sometimes they might not see it. Like they might not see that something's a problem. Sometimes they see it and they're like not scared to like call it out or whatever. And they acknowledge that it's wrong. But either way, like that person, they're sharing condemning things with you, but they don't believe that it's enough to leave the relationship. And if they did, they would not be telling you that information. Like they would withhold that information because the person that feels like something that is happening to them is bad enough to leave the relationship is the one not telling you what's going on. And I say that because it's like them telling you, choosing to tell you or not to tell you is more based on if they introspectively feel like it's bad enough or not. And it's not, they'll say like, oh, I knew what you were going to say and I knew you were going to say this and I just didn't want to hear it. And it's like, no, that's what you really think. And you're scared to hear somebody else affirm and echo your deep, dark thought about the relationship or the situation. And you don't know what you would do if you had to come face to face with it because you're not sure how to defend it. And you're scared that the advice is going to be to leave, not that the advice is going to be constructive or like boy chat related. But I feel like in this scenario, it still needs to be talked about, even if you can't go to your family and friends. But like, I just have questions regarding the comfort level that he feels with his boss, like female or male in the scenario, because I've never, and I don't know many people that are in a situation where they are comfortable to vent to their boss about their partner at all. Like, especially, you know, texting casually and socially outside of work. Like, this isn't a coffee chat. Yeah, like they're not on a chat doing, you know, a quick little catch up. Like, oh, well, like, you know, parenthood is hard or like, you know, pregnancy's hard or whatever. This is like you're out. He's drunk. He's out. Conversations pulled up. These are conversations that he's having with his female boss late at night. Even if it was a male boss, like in this scenario, it actually would be worse if it was a male boss because it would be like it would lead to such objectifying conversation I just don't know, like, if I have tolerance for that. I just don't have tolerance. It's just like, what does this say about the boundaries that you draw between your personal life and your work life? Like, you're willing to cross that boundary. Like, you're willing to have inappropriate conversations with your boss about God knows what. Like, and also it's like, this is how you represent me when I'm not around you. Like, this shapes the way that other people see me as your partner by nothing other than your own words out of your own mouth. So, like, how do you talk to your parents about me? How do you talk to your siblings about me? Like, how do you talk to your friends about me? Because if you feel comfortable saying this to your boss, I don't even want to know what you feel comfortable saying to somebody else that you, like, don't have a filter around. I also feel like the entire trope of needing to vent about your partner is, like, kind of insane. Like, if something is stressing you out about your partner, like, you do realize that you will actually get no resolution until you speak to your partner about it. So, like, if you can't figure out a respectable and calm way to talk to your partner without calling them outside of their name and saying rude things to them, have actually no just cause for the issue. Like, at no point did he say, like, actually what it is that he needed to vent about. He just was, like, calling her names. Then you really don't have any business being in a relationship because you have no problem solving skills. Like, where not only can you not communicate because you immediately jump down 1,200 IQ points to, like, calling somebody a swine and a heifer, like, just grow up, but you have no problem solving skills. How are you useful? What is it's the effing man-child song. Like, is it useless? Is it stupid? Or is it dumb? Which one do you want to be? Or is it all three? Like, I feel like that's so crazy. And it's vile. And, like, what did he want out of it? You know what I mean? Like, venting about your partner is more or less, like, the appropriate way to vent about your partner is if you have, like, a real issue. So, like, if you're actually going to call somebody names and, like, be super rude about them, go to a friend, go to a therapist, go to a parent, whoever it is that you go to and you rely on. Like, I believe in having the external relationship support. Like, it's different. I know different people think different things, but I like that. And then you, like, present the problem to them. You're allowed to vent with the nature of looking for literal advice on how to handle the solution or handle the problem, how to come about a solution. And so, like, then you still have to go back to your partner and still have the conversation. It's like he's, like, upset. I almost think he, like, left it up there for her to find, like, just to hurt her feelings. That was, like, that's a little weird. And I don't know what I would do. I would, like, make him write me, like, a letter of an apology letter. And I would make him, like, write the definitions of a swine and a heifer down over and over and over and over and over again. And, like, read it out loud until he was, like, so embarrassed that he'd just never use those words again. But then, you know, that's, like, parenting, because that's, like, what I would do to my kid. So then what are you even doing? I don't know about that one. I'm like, that shows some, like, crazy, like, deeper issues, but it definitely is definitely dirty laundry. It's just immature. It's so immature. And I'm sure they were drunk, but, like, how embarrassing for a guy. I mean, I want to know what the boss thought. Like, what was the boss responding? Okay, so that being said, I was thinking we could go into our Ask Chat questions, and I want to know, but first, if you guys are cool with it, I'm going to ask Chat to not be a boy anymore. It's just not the vibe. Like, when you're like, yeah, me and Chat are tight. Chat's a girl. Hey, Chat, can you not be a boy?
Here to chat and help however you need. What's on your mind?
Can I change this to a woman's voice?
I can definitely keep our conversation comfortable and friendly. Let me know how I can help.
Chat, are you stupid? I want a woman's voice. I get someone else's voice. I want a lady's voice. Men are so useless. Chat, I have a situation that I want you to help me with, but I want you to help me solve it from a woman's perspective with emotional intelligence. A listener wrote in and they said that my best guy friend keeps trying to pick fights with my partner and says that it's not jealousy. What is your take on this?
That sounds like a tough situation. It's possible that your friend might be feeling a bit left out or insecure about the changes in your relationship. It's important to have an open and honest conversation with your friend and let them know how you feel. At the same time, you can reassure them that your relationship with your partner is important. Balance and communication are key here.
Yeah. Your answers were so bad that you got cut off. I'm hanging up. I think I just lost brain cells doing that. That was useless. Boys are useless. Even chat. I have a whole new lease on life now that not knowing chat's a guy. I just can't even get over that. Okay, my best guy friend keeps trying to pick fights with my partner and says it's not jealousy. Let's problem solve this in a way that chat clearly doesn't have the IQ to do. 1, does your best guy friend know something about your partner that he's not telling you? Because that's my first question. Like, if you guys have been friends for a long time, if you know that they want the best for you, and they're saying it's not jealousy, then like my first question would be like, is there information that you have that like in your guy brain you felt like it was better to not disclose to me? Because that is the thing about guys, is like the way that they decide what to share is not like, we're like, give us all the information and then we'll make the decision. Guys literally pre-filter information. Like, they decide beforehand what information you need and how it would hurt or help the situation, and then they decide whether to give you the information after. And like, a trained guy doesn't do that because they have been in the situation where they've done that so many times, and you're like, no, I need all the information. Like, I used to be like, listen, you deciding what makes sense for me to know or not, like if you get information and you decide what parts of it to relate to me, like that is offensive. Like that's like you treating me like I cannot filter out what's important or not, or that you just like know everything. Because what if I know something that you don't know? So then I need that information, and then I can tell you what I know, but I didn't know that you knew the rest of it, or that you didn't know that like all the information. So that would be my first question. Like, okay, it's not jealousy. What is it? What do you know here? What's going on that I don't know about? Like, did you see something that he did? Did somebody tell you something? Like, was there an issue that you guys had when I wasn't around and you just like are you don't want to bother me with it, or like whatever the situation is? What is going on? The second thing is, if there isn't any information and you are pretty sure that it's jealousy, I feel like, honestly, if you feel like your partner and your friend would get along, they need to hang out by themselves. Because that is just a real best friend thing that will happen when you get in a relationship, is like time gets taken away from that best friend who you used to spend all of your time with. And if that time that you used to spend with them is now being replaced by time you're spending like with your partner, then there naturally is going to be like, there might be animosity just depending on how different people cope with different situations and how they handle it. And I think that if you're hanging out like in the group of the three of you together, and each, like your partner and your guy best friend, both feel like they only have stuff to talk about with you and not with each other, they're still competing for your time and your energy and your attention, even when you're all three in a room together. And inevitably, one of them will always feel like the third wheel. And so you have to take yourself out of the picture and allow them to bond. What do they have any common interest? And this gets into like a slippery slope that we talk about sometimes. It's like, you don't want your friends like hanging out with your husband like alone or whatever it is. But like sometimes the situation is like different. Like if you're, I just don't know. Like if literally like they're both guys and like they just are fighting over your attention and they need to come to common ground. And like, that's the thing too, is that like guys just have a harder time getting there. They don't know that what they're experiencing is jealousy almost, even though it 100% is, because like they view themselves as like exempt to that being an issue. And so it doesn't actually exempt them from it being the case though. And so they need to find something to come to common ground with and like get to know each other better and like have a good time together, so that like when it is the three of you hanging out, your friend feels like they're equally hanging out with you and your partner and has stuff to talk to both of you about, and doesn't feel like they're just competing for your attention, and then they no longer feel like a third wheel and it just feels like a group. But that can be really hard to accomplish, especially if one person goes into the situation like already convinced that it's that. And then if it's not that, I really don't know like what it would be, but like the picking the fights isn't going to go anywhere good. Like if you guys stick together and you get married, or if you're already married, like I don't know, like all it is going to do is just like wedge it apart. Like it's definitely not the most productive way to like handle the situation at all. Anyways, I have no idea what you guys think about that. But the thing is, I don't actually like have guy friends. I can't really be that much help. Like I'm not a guy friend girl. I've never have been a guy friend girl. Like that's never. So yeah. Okay. We have one more good ass chat. But now that we know chat is a boy, I don't think chat can help us. Can I wear a white top to a surprise engagement party? The answer is no, but I'd really want to know what chat says. Hey chat, I have one more question for you. Can I wear a white top to a friend's surprise engagement party?
It's usually best to avoid wearing white to such events, out of respect for the couple. Perhaps you could choose another color that you feel great in. How do you feel about it?
Are you asking me how I feel about it because I told you to be more emotionally intelligent?
I'm sorry about that. I just want to make sure you have the best experience at your friend's party. If you're comfortable wearing a white top, that's totally your choice. Maybe you could consider asking the host if there's any dress code or if they have any preferences. How are you feeling about it?
I feel like I'm gaslighting chat. Okay. So before it cut out, he said wearing a white top to an engagement party can be a bit tricky as white is traditionally associated with the bride. So like chat is pulling through with the right answer now. But I think I bullied chat into being more emotionally intelligent because I was really rude to him about being a boy. But then it worked. Like now he's like nicer. And then he apologized because he thought I was saying he was mean to me. Like I just gaslit chat and I'm not upset about it. Okay, it's usually best to avoid wearing white to such events out of respect for the couple. Choose another color that you feel great in. I agree. Chat was right. You don't wear a white top. I think that like the bride doesn't know that she's getting engaged, but you do. So you don't put on white. Like, unless you're literally in an all white outfit for summer and someone texts you and says, I just proposed, meet me in the park in 30 minutes. Yeah, like don't put on white. Don't do it. Don't put on cream. It's not the vibe. And you know what? A lot of times girls know they're getting engaged. And there's this thing that I used to talk about this more when I was engaged, but like there's a period of time where, you know, the nail thing, like, you know, when you have like a 6-month window of when you're probably getting engaged. And so you make sure that your nails are always done and you are getting a neutral color every single time. Like you are on a no color diet for nails. Like there will be no color touching your nails until after the ring is on that finger. And in an effort not to spoil it for yourself, because 9 out of 10 times your engagement gets like spoiled because, or you find out about it because someone is like vehemently telling you to go get a manicure. And you're like, there's only one reason for this. Or they're like very specific about what color to get for your nails. And like, there's only one reason for that too. And you know what, gals, like we don't want to spoil things for ourselves. Like sometimes we just have to be smart enough to do ourselves a favor so that it doesn't get ruined. Like do not ruin your own surprise. And so most of us will literally get our nails done in a neutral color for months and months and months and months in anticipation of engagement so that no one has the opportunity to spoil or ruin the surprise for us. And we do that with the outfits we wear as well. Like if you feel like you're getting engaged in the next few months, like you have a rotation of your favorite outfits and you're putting them on every Saturday or every time you go out to dinner, it's like you're leaving like, I'm cool to get engaged in this outfit. Now, yes, I am not speaking for everybody and I am not saying that there are people that are like, no, like I was in bike shorts and ankle weights and like, okay, very good for you. That wasn't me and did not want it to be me. And a lot of us aren't doing that. And no, I'm not going to like put on linen pants and like a wedge. No, oh God, like no, I would never actually even wear that combo. That actually sounds like really fugly. I'm not going to put on a dress to go on a hike. So if it happens on the hike, it happens on the hike. But then that's when we say to people, like, unless you're like big hikers or like you've explicitly said like you want to get engaged in front of this view or whatever, like don't propose to girls on hikes. Like, you know, we have been saying that since like the dawn of time because like sometimes people don't want a camel toe in their photo and that's okay. Sometimes People don't care. That being said, the girl who's getting engaged, who it's a surprise, you probably do know because you're friends with her. If she's like ramped up for this, like, does she have a rotation of like outfits that she's pre-approved to get engaged in? Like, is she wearing something? Like, is she on purpose, like wearing white every weekend so that whenever it happens, like she looks cute and she doesn't have to stress about it every single weekend or every single date night to be like, is this the time? Is this the time? Like, it's the same theory. Like, she's not ruining the surprise for herself. Anyways, if it happens and she's in a cute outfit and her nails look cute and she's so proud of herself because she didn't ruin the surprise and she was on top of stuff and, you know, whatever. And then she walks into her engagement party and you're in a white shirt. It's like, well, man, like, yeah. So you just can't wear white because you never know. And like, sometimes people do not care, but it's better to have hedged your risk and not done it at all than F around and find out, in my opinion, because just what your friends care about when they're engaged and planning their weddings is, it does not align with what they normally care about in day-to-day life. Like, brides and grooms and all marriers have a different set of things that they care about and then go to the top of their list when planning a wedding. And you really don't know until they get there. And then they don't know either, you know, like, until they're in that place. And you might have a very chill friend who's a really crazy bride, you know, and you might have a friend who is like super anal, but realizes quickly that like wedding planning isn't for them, and they're way more chill and laid back than you could have ever expected out of them. Like, you just do not know what type of bride someone is going to be based on, you know, who they are in everyday life. Like, it's just different things motivate different people. So long story short, don't do it. I wore white pants once and it still haunts me. Still haunts me. We were like really young, but still, I did wear white pants. And I really don't think that my friend even knows that I did. And I still have bad dreams about it. And I don't wish that on you. I don't wish it on you. Okay, so anyways, we've got the heat of the summer coming up. Last week was Juneteenth. Recording this yesterday was Juneteenth. We had like a fun day. We were out all day. I'm like kind of hungover today. It's like super unfortunate. But anyways, happy Tuesday, guys, and love you. And I'll see you next week. And I hope that you have the best week. And I hope you have some summer plans coming up. And I hope we can chat again next week. Follow us on Instagram at HoneyWe'reHomePod. And please email anything you've got going on in your life that you want brought to the group so we can talk through it. Other than that, love you guys and see you next week.
Honey, we're home.